Welcome back to America Right Now. I'm Tom Basile. Not since the late 1880s have we had a presidential election where each candidate has a White House record to run on. Not since Teddy Roosevelt has a former president attempted to win a non-consecutive term, and not since 1893 has that been accomplished. It's been more than half a century since a presidential candidate obtained the nomination without being elected through a single primary or caucus without getting a single vote. Then, as now, the result of an unpopular sitting president bowing out of the race. The uniqueness of this national journey that we have all been on together is part of what makes the choice we face interesting and exciting. It also makes it weighty and consequential. The choice is about more than just one person. It's about a way of life. As we've seen, the same people who are now telling you that Mr. Trump is unstable covered up the mental and physical decline of the sitting president for 4 years.
In Joe Biden, we have a president who is probably one of the boldest and strongest American presidents we have had. I work with Joe Biden every day. The work that under Joe Biden's leadership our administration has accomplished is transformative.
The same people who were calling Mr. Trump a fascist instituted a vaccine mandate that led to millions of Americans either being fired from their jobs or forced to surrender their bodily autonomy because the state demanded it.
All employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated.
It didn't stop transmission or infection, by the way. The same people who rail against Republicans over women's rights are trying to destroy the right to privacy for women and girls through executive action and erode parental rights as part of a dangerous campaign to normalize gender dysphoria. The same people who want you to think that Republicans are the purveyors of wholesale political violence want you to forget all about the destruction of the Black Lives Matter riots, the pro-Hamas riots, the anti-Semitism, the gang violence, and the other devastating human impacts of their policies. The same people who've had one word to describe Trump
is acting like a third world dictator here.
A wannabe dictator like Donald Trump.
Donald Trump continues to behave like an itinerant dictator.
They helped collapse the southern border with 94 executive orders, leading to death and destruction. They attempted to unilaterally and illegally cancel billions in student loan debt, illegally prevent property owners from evicting deadbeat tenants, and impose their radical social agenda on school systems by fiat. The same people who would tell you that mean tweets are unconscionable are the same people who want to police your pronouns and speech and get you fired for so-called microaggressions. They're the same people who have created a protected class of government bureaucrats who make more money and have better benefits than private sector workers with virtually no accountability. The same people who will tell you that Republicans and conservatives are intolerant and racist are the very same people who have built and weaponized a censorship complex and cancel culture that is totally antithetical to free speech. The same people who compared Mr. Trump's Madison Square Garden rally to a pro-Nazi event held there in 1939.
Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939.
Also want you to ignore the fact that Bill Clinton accepted the Democratic presidential nomination at the same arena in 1992. They're the same people who want to institutionalize discrimination and force religious institutions to violate their beliefs, even using the FBI to infiltrate churches and brand Catholics as domestic extremists. The same Democrats who claim Trump is out for revenge are the very same people who used the government to spy on his campaign, concocted 2 sham impeachments, the phony Russia collusion narrative, and ripped the blindfold off of Lady Justice to use lawfare against their political opponents. They are still trying to throw the 45th president in jail for life, folks.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
The same people who are now telling you that Mr. Trump is power hungry have already told you that if they win, they will change the rules in the United States Senate to ensure that their agenda is just rammed through. They will pack the Supreme Court until they get justices to contort the Constitution to fit their agenda and attempt to wipe clean the genius of our founders by eliminating the Electoral College. The same people who will compare Donald Trump to a mass murderer are the same people who have facilitated more death at the hands of drug cartels, foreign criminals, through the intentional degradation of our justice system than any other administration in history. The same people who will yell at the top of their lungs about preserving our democracy are opposed to voter identification and consistently vote against blocking non-citizens from voting. All of this talk, folks, about democracy is not by accident. When people show you who they really are, believe them.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
They want a true democracy where it will be easier for them to upend the freedoms that are the foundations of American greatness. Remember, as we make this choice, we don't live in a democracy by design. We live in a republic. John Adams said clearly about simple majority rule, quote, "Democracy never lasts long. It soon wastes, exhausts, and murders itself." The choice is not, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? It's about, will you have more freedom and prosperity 4 years from now? It's a choice between the people whose stock and trade is gaslighting and conning you into believing that your eyes are lying about what is really happening in this country, or those willing to stand up to the dangerous excesses of the state to protect our constitutional freedoms. That's the choice that we have to make. The way we vote is a test of whether we are still worthy to live in a free society or whether we are willing to be led by ideologies and forces that are shadowy reflections of the despotism we have fought so hard to prevent from crushing this great experiment that we call America.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
Choose wisely, America.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.